Hi, I'm Madeline Zima. I just did an interview with MovieJunk where I talked about my new film, Subservience, starring Megan Fox and Michele Morrone. It's available on Amazon Prime, so check it out.
Hi, Madeline. Welcome back to Movie Junk. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you, Zaya?
Doing well, doing well. We're so excited today. We got Madeline Zima returning back to our show, fresh off the release of Subservience and Doom Patrol, which is last year. Fans have seen your work in many hit shows such as Californication, Can't Leave Off the Nanny. So excited to welcome you back today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, thank you. And Madeline, you've played, obviously 30 plus years you've been in the business. It's crazy to say, but you've played a variety of characters over the years. Are there any particular roles or genres that you look for these days or most excited about these days?
Yeah, I'm ready to start my playing mom era. This is the first job that I ever got to play a mother. Maybe technically there was a short film, but nobody ever really saw that. But yeah, this was the first time I got to play a mom, and I've been telling my people for I think the last like 5 years. I'm like, look, I really want to play a mom. I'm way old enough to be a mom now, so it's really important to me to play those kind of characters. So this was the first time I got to play a mom, and that was a big deal for me.
And definitely for the fans that haven't seen Subservience, there was a release overseas in theaters. It's available on Amazon Prime, so you can rent it, you can purchase it, and definitely with this day and age, right? Going into the AI genre, it's kind of got a little bit of Terminator mythos into it as well too, starring yourself, Megan Fox. And we also, can't forget, for the fans that have seen 365 Days, Michele Morrone in it as well too. You guys totally rock it.
Yeah, I mean, with a cast like that, not necessarily myself included, but
No,
those
no.
two, I was like, whoa, I'm so lucky to be a part of the project.
And when did you first hear about this role?
I auditioned for it in I hmm, I want to say sometime in 2020, end of 22 or 23. We filmed at the very beginning of 23. So I think I must have auditioned at the end of 22. Um, and I read the script. I got an audition, I read the script, and I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me of a movie that I was in when I was little, which is The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. And it's very much the same plot as The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, but with an AI twist, obviously. And I read it, I enjoyed reading it. I was like, this is a very good script. And I really loved the Maggie role. And I just thought I could do it justice. So
Definitely, definitely right. And Megan Fox, your co-star, she plays an AI robot who's seemingly domesticated, but turns deadly. And I don't want to get too far into the spoilers though. But when you read the script, was there any interest in also playing that role as well, or did you always want to play the mother
no,
role?
Megan was attached. Megan was
Okay.
attached. First of all, I don't necessarily see myself as symmetrical enough to play a robot, to be honest. But Megan was always attached to that role, and I saw her in the role, and she surprised me on set by, bringing even more actual, I would say, nuance to the character, making interesting choices. Because when you're a human having human responses, that's very different than having a robot response. So, and she made interesting choices like laughing and smiling in places that a human wouldn't.
Yeah.
That's unsettling and kind of just fun to watch. So,
hmm hmm And you mentioned that you want to play and take on more motherly roles at this stage. Now this is a motherly role, but it's a very physical role as well too, right? I couldn't help but think your experience in doing Doom and maybe some of the preparation for that Doom Patrol gave you some preparation because there's some physical scenes in this film.
yeah, I actually broke my toe on set,
Oh,
and Megan broke her wrist on set.
oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. There, I feel like there could have been more rehearsals with the stunt coordinator, but anyway, uh, um, it was very physical, and I injured myself badly. Luckily, I did have a little. I was like in better shape from Doom Patrol, than I normally would be, which is I err on the side of lazy, to be honest. But yeah. I did injure myself. It was really important to me that I was gonna finish the day because I didn't want to hold up production in any way. And I was like, they're like, we need to take you to the hospital for an x-ray. And I was like, okay, but after I'm done at the hospital, I want to come out back and finish the day. And so I did. I went to the hospital. They did the x-ray. They're like, yeah, it's broken. You have a broken toe, which doesn't sound like much, but when you have to run, that was in the beginning of production, and I had to run for the rest of the movie. I'm running around, being chased by Megan's character. So it was kind of it was a bit of a challenge. But I felt like Tom Cruise, that I like came back after going to the hospital with my little
Yeah.
broken toe, and I was like, I finished the day.
No, amazing. I mean, and yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a there's a lot of action in this film. Again, like when you're watching the movie, you're not sure what to expect if you're going to see is this all going to play out, the way that the designers of this AI technology are intending, right? You're seeing, certain elements where there could be some deadly risks, but just seeing your character, right? It seemed like your character was the one that was always kind of on her toes, not fully embracing what the goal of these AI technology is. And I just liked how I'm not sure what the budget of this film was, but it seemed like there was no sacrifice. Like the technology was great. I don't even know if it was CGI. It just looked so realistic, and the mannerisms of the robots was something that I haven't seen again, like even in comparison to like some of the Terminator movies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the budget was either, but I know that we were, an independent film, but like Millennium is a bit of a studio, so it's
Yeah,
like, it's not like we had some big, studio behind us. But I think most of the effects were practical. Obviously, there are certain
yeah,
things with Megan's face when she's like half robot, half her, like sort of that Terminator moment when you come and like, half the
yeah.
face is melted. And I'm pretty sure they, enhanced whatever or CGI'd some of that. But a lot of it was practical, and it looked great. And I never got to do sci-fi before, which was cool. And uh, I love that genre in terms of film. So I was just excited to be a part of a genre that I had never gotten to be a part of before, that I really love. So
Definitely, definitely. And I definitely don't want to butcher his name, but Michele Morrone, and I hope I'm
you did it
pronouncing.
perfectly. It's
Okay.
Michaela. Yeah.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Because I mean, he's really just set the stage the last few years, obviously in Hollywood as well too. Just being a very prominent actor, and just seeing him in this role, also with a lot of action, going up against a robot. What's it like working with him? Obviously on the film and also offset as well.
It was great. I mean, Michele is very sweet, and he's very new to acting. He's still just like starting his acting journey, really, the last few years. But he was very, very sweet. He's a dad in real life, so it was great working with him. He was great with the kids. He's younger than me, which was funny. So I felt like almost like we had like a brother sister dynamic on set, and I was like, I hope that it, translates into something more steamy on camera, which luckily I think like Scott did a great job of pulling that off, and we did our jobs as well. But it was great. I was just felt so lucky to be a part of it, and um yeah, had a really good time with Michele.
Definitely, and the chemistry's there. You guys totally rock it. Megan Fox, right? I mean, she does such a good job of taking on this role as Alice. Any fun stories of working with her on set? Is this the first time you guys worked together? Have you guys worked together before?
No, this is the first time we worked together. I was just a fan of her and wanted to work with her. She's like an icon of, uh, she's just sort of like an icon. She's like our one of our modern day, like sort of an Elizabeth Taylor or something like that, where if you're a brunette and you just like see her, something about you just like wants to either be like her because she's so beautiful, or she was outspoken again against people in the past. And I felt like that was just cool of her to be that way. Because a lot of actors aren't, and are afraid to, rightfully so. People have had their careers buried for less. But it was just great. It was great working with her. Every time I got to do scenes with her, I felt like they went exactly how I wanted them to go. I kind of had a sense of what she would do, and then she would always do something a little different every time. And she was really thoughtful about her work with Alice. She really, I think, did the homework to kind of zero in on what it would mean for a different kind of intelligence to assess a human being and analyze them, and how they would process it. And she did talk about her character from that place, which was really cool. I really enjoyed doing scenes with her. I kind of wish that there were more, to be honest, because I really enjoyed working with her. And she's a pro. She always shows up on time, and uh yeah, can't say enough
Definitely.
good things about the cast.
Definitely right. And I mean, no surprise. I mean, we know Megan Fox can do action and intense scenes, right? She's from Transformers, but
Yeah.
also too, she was in the Expendables 4. And I know that film, got, a little bit of mixed reviews, but I had fun with that movie. I actually really liked it a lot and thought she was one of the best parts of the movie itself. So we know she can do action and do these physical scenes, and you guys have quite a bit of action together. So really excited to see even your guys' chemistry was great. I I did notice a small part, and maybe it's just me kind of over analyzing, but there was a part where you were having an interaction, obviously with your husband scene, and you did mention a small line, the nanny. Was that, I don't know if you even remember that, but was that ad-libbed at all, or was that sort of like a little Easter egg to the
No,
teaser?
no, I know exactly what you're talking about. No, absolutely not. It was not. It was written into the script. You can't get away
Okay,
from saying the nanny at certain points. If
for
I
sure.
could have, because when you've worked as long as I have, I've been in the industry for 30. I don't care about dating myself because it's all on the internet anyway. But I've been acting since for 37 years now. I got
That's
my SAG
impressive.
card in 1989. So you want, it's like you're of course I want to honor people who love the nanny and everything like that, but it's also so long ago for me. I barely remember, like, there's episodes where I don't even remember filming the episodes because I was from 7 to 13. So those are the very developmental years that are the, you incur the most damage, and you kind of want to forget those years, to be honest. But it's like you're embarrassing home movies. That's a little bit how I feel about The Nanny. Obviously it's a beloved show, and
Right.
I can appreciate it sometimes, but it's also like a part of a strange part of, it's just like a part of yourself, not the entirety. So no, I definitely wouldn't, if had I not been able to avoid saying The Nanny, I would have, honestly.
I was
But
watching, I
it's
was like,
just,
we got a little Easter egg there. I wasn't sure if that was intended or not, or me overanalyzing it, but
no,
good.
no, that you've created the Easter egg now,
Perfect.
because before that, no. But I feel more like this definitely has parallels to The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, which is another nanny movie. All the nanny things that I did in the 90s. If I could do reboots of all of them, I'll be working forever. But and I would happily do whatever anybody wanted me to do. But uh yeah, no. Yes, you found that as Easter egg, but it was not on purpose.
Oh, perfect. So glad that, so far, if you hear it anywhere else, just mention that, hopefully you heard it here first. One thing also as well too, with this film, there, not trying to spoil it as well, but there were some allusions that, or alluding to maybe there being a sequel. Are there any early talks? I know the movie was just released, but any early talks of a sequel, and would you be interested in returning?
I would happily do this again for sure. I love the director, I love the writer and the producers. They were such cool people who really took good care of me while I was over in Bulgaria. Um, but no, not that I know of. I think it would make a fantastic sequel. I think that there would be I think it'd be great. It's so fun, and and hopefully more people see it. And if it becomes popular, perhaps there'll be talks. But as of now, no, there are none. There are no calls coming in yet.
And definitely with the cast, I mean, I do think that it is a movie that also deserves a North America theatrical release. I think it would do really well seeing it in the theaters, especially with all the intense scenes. Are there any talks of a limited release in the States at all, or?
There was at one point. I don't know what's going on with that part of it now. I know I saw it as like sort of uh it feels like a blockbuster type of summer movie, honestly, where
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
got fun action sequences, fun, strange sequences, scary sequences. To me, it's incredibly entertaining, and I'm not, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of all that kind of stuff. I mean, I love the Matrix and those action sequences because they're so, masterful. But I mean, I'm not a fan of everything. And I really genuinely am a fan of this movie. Like I genuinely watched it more than once and like was entertained the whole time. And I think people will be entertained by it and like laugh at unexpected moments. There's like moments of like comedy for me. I was like, I don't know. I really enjoyed the film. So I'm
Yeah.
happy to be like, more people should see it.
Yeah, I co-sign. Also, too, I'd recommend folks to just buy it because you never know when you have another friend over as well too. You can just rewatch it. So just having it, rented for 48 hours doesn't do it justice. I recommend folks to buy it. That way, they can share it with their friends as well too. And I think it's one of those movies where you do want to watch it a few times because of the intensity. And there might be a few things that you missed because it is a smart movie. It is a sci-fi movie, and especially with AI advancing and the advances in AI today, the timing is perfect.
Yeah, I feel like is incredibly relevant. And while we were making the film, we were having conversations about that. I think even Megan did have like, well, it's only a matter of time before this is like too real, and
Mhm.
that's a scary proposition. It's a scary idea that the place of the mother in a household could just be as much as humanly possible because robots can't reproduce yet. But to be completely erased and removed, it's a really scary idea, you
Definitely.
know.
Yeah, and also too, from I'm a huge James Cameron fan, and obviously the creator of Terminator, and there's rumors about him returning to pen script. The next Terminator. I think we're on like 7 or 8 now. But anytime I hear his name attached, I'm more than excited, and he wants to take it towards an AI theme as well too. So I'm not sure if he's going to watch Subservience as well, and then be like, hey, I got to take some of these ideas, maybe
That would
cast
be
me.
great. That'd be great. Anybody who watches it and likes it and gets any kind of entertainment from it or an idea, fantastic. That would be
Absolutely.
great.
Where do you see yourself going from here? I know we talked about some roles around, some next, generational, mother roles as well. But as far as like some action roles, is there any early films or things that you could share with us for your upcoming projects?
I have done an episode of a TV show called High Potential, which is coming out with the wonderful Kaylin Olson, who is so beautiful and funny and just the most delightful person to work with. I was super intimidated because my partner is like the biggest fan of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And so we watched that a lot, especially when we first started dating. And so I was like very intimidated. And she's really, you know, comedically brilliant, and it was so great to work with her. She's so collaborative, she's so supportive. I mean, I can't say enough good things about her. I really had the best time. It was just a guest star, so it's not like you'll see a lot of me, but but I got to play a mom in that too. So I'm ready for my mom era. All
Awesome.
mom roles. If I did child of the caretaker roles, and now I'm ready to graduate into perhaps actually being the caretaker or the mom or whatever. I'm just happy to graduate. I'm, almost 40. So it's like I'm ready to be a grown up. I have a
Definitely.
young face, but which is great. I still look young, but I'm like, I'm matured enough to play like the proper grown up roles, and I'm ready for whatever that looks like.
We're excited for those as well. And if I'm not mistaken, I mean, you also have, some sibling sisters that are also in the
Yeah.
business as well too, right? How's
Yeah.
that influence impacted you as well?
So I have two younger sisters, Vanessa and Yvonne Zima, and they're brilliant beyond brilliant. I mean, I honestly they're more talented than me, and it's a shame that they haven't gotten to show the whole world how brilliant they are. Yvonne was a writer on Our Flag Means Death. Most recently, she's sort of transitioned to writing, and she sold a show to Netflix as well, with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's company, but then it didn't end up going. But it was a really, really cool idea, and hopefully maybe somebody else will pick it up. I don't know exactly how that works, but we did do one thing all together where we during the pandemic we sort of wrote something that was like an Arrested Development meets Curb Your Enthusiasm of our lives. So it was like about these like three child actor sisters who can't really seem to get their shit together to sort of survive. And and that was the most fun I've ever had creating something. So I wrote it and directed and it was in it. And now I know I could do those kind of things, which is quite a bit to handle, but I really enjoyed it. And hopefully we'll edit that together someday and get it all pieces, at least pieces of it out there. But yeah, my sisters are I'm the biggest fan of them. So
That's amazing. Do you see yourself directing any more or doing more directorial projects down the road?
yeah, I just I directed a friend's music video last year and have a couple short films that would be ready to go that I wanted to do in different female workshops that I've like applied for, but I haven't gotten into any, to be honest. And I just want to make stuff all the time with my friends. But directing is definitely really a personal passion of mine and something I really enjoy. And I appreciate it when it's great, and working with Scott, I just want to give a shout out to Scott Dale, SK Dale for Subservience. He's such a talented director, and everything was thought out. Every shot was perfectly planned, and he it just is a really smart and very great communicator. And really deserves his credit for really pulling this film off uh in a seasoned way. Like I've worked with lots of directors. I've worked with, David Lynch. I've worked with all kinds of old school and new school people, and he's just so talented and deserves to continue to keep working. So I just want to give him his proper credit as well.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, I mean, seeing, amazing talent, obviously both from the directorial side, starring alongside, both as actors and you do it all, you write as well. 30 plus years, obviously, and again, don't want to date you, but it's
I
very
don't care.
impressive and very impressive with the amount of experience that you have, because not a lot of people can say that, right? So I would be definitely proud of that, and I'm just excited to see your upcoming projects and where you go from here, because it just seems like you're, going up from here.
Thank you. I hope so too.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep a career going this long, but mainly I still love it. So when you love something, you kind of don't give up on it, even if it's incredibly difficult.
And I always love asking our guests, right? Whenever you guys are not working, what are some of the shows or last movie that you guys watched?
Oh, you know what I really loved was Silo. I thought,
Silo.
did you watch Silo on
I haven't
Apple
seen it.
TV?
I haven't seen
Oh,
it.
it's very good. The first episode with Rashida Jones and Daniel Oweyu is like it's like an allegory of the cave. It's just beautiful and philosophical and deep and just kind of amazing. And then they kind of quickly, are no longer in the show, and then it becomes about Rebecca Ferguson, who is so talented. I love watching her. I mean, there's just like lots of people that I watch and I'm like, wow, they're so good, and I'm glad that they're getting work. And then sometimes you watch stuff and you're like, how's this person getting any jobs? And you're just like, astonishing. But when people are great and talented, it's just like the most exciting thing. And so that was one of the shows I saw recently that I was like, oh, I can't wait for that to come back. And Severance was also incredible. I guess that was a couple years ago now, but they still haven't dropped the second season. We're still like waiting for that. It's crazy how it's like 5 years in between seasons now. It's really weird. Um,
Yes.
and I watch a lot of like trash TV too, but not like the Kardashians, although my sister loves the Kardashians, no shade. But I like Naked and Afraid. I don't know why.
Yes.
Survival just like makes people crazier than whatever booze they give the people on the
Mhm.
Housewives show.
Those types of shows are really, really popular, right? Just because it's more like real TV and just kind of seeing like you get drawn into kind of comparing yourself into like, what would I do in that similar circumstance? And they're like, would I do that? Or like, what are these guys doing? So you're kind of judging, but you're also like, maybe I would do the same thing. But it seems like those types of reality shows are becoming more and more popular. And every streaming platform has their own version or own show based on a specific city or group. So yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
those are my go-tos now.
Definitely, definitely. Well, I do want to be respectful of your time. And again, really, really excited to welcome you back. Amazing project again for the fans that haven't seen Subservience yet. It's available on Amazon Prime, so you can rent it, you can buy it, just buy it because you know you're going to watch it more than once. And you do an excellent job in there, and I'm really excited to discuss it with you, and can't wait for the fans to see it, and obviously share our episode with the fans as well.
Thank you, Zaya. I really appreciate it. It's been like so fun to talk to you.
Really appreciate it. Looking forward to sharing with the fans, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Take care.